Alright boys, you read the title. It's flying time.
Here we go again.
DK, Donkey Kong.
So first things first, we're going to have to come up here and turn on the battery. Next, turn standby power to auto and turn on the external power. At this point, you could turn on the APU if you wanted, but I actually am not going to, so we don't waste fuel. Now, you can align the IRSs now. It takes around 6 or 7 minutes for those to align, so I like to align those immediately, so we're just not sitting here waiting for forever. And you'll notice everything comes on now, like all these extra floodlights and all this stuff, that just comes on automatically. I like turning them all off. That's just me. Okay, so what you want to do now is program your FMC. So you want to go to init ref, position, get the speed brakes out of here. We are going to go, and you're going to put your reference airport in here, so it is Kilo Charlie Oscar Sierra. We're in Colorado Springs right now, and take this position and put it here. Next we'll go to our route. We'll put in our departure airport, which is just the same airport you put on the previous page, and your departure, and your arrival airport. What am I saying? So we're doing a quick flight today from Colorado Springs to Denver. This route is very short. It only takes about 20 minutes, and it is just a really good practice flight for anyone who wants to practice, you know, flying this plane. So now that's done, we're gonna go next. Actually, we're gonna go SIDS. We're not gonna use any SIDS, so we're not gonna hit that. But we are on runway. What's our heading? We are 35 right. That is our. We are departing runway 35 right. Actually, no, we're not. What am I saying? We are departing runway 17 right. We are departing runway 17 right. Next, we'll go to route next, and we will type in our 2 waypoints on this route: BRK, VOR, and Ho-Hum intersection. Hit execute on that, and then when the IRS aligns in about 4 minutes, it will show us our route. I'm going to put that to 20 right now. Next, we'll go to arrival, go index arrival, ILS 7, execute. And we'll go to legs, delete this discontinuity, and here we are, Sarah, Ashore, Taylor. Those are the 3 ILS waypoints. And while you're here, you can program all the VNAV altitudes if you want to. I don't particularly trust VNAV in this aircraft, but if you want to try it out, I guess let me know how it goes. But other than that, our route is completely done. So there's only one thing left to do, and it is to go to initref performance. So our cruising altitude is going to be 120 or 12,000 feet. Our cost index, we'll just round it to 100. And then reserves. We are carrying about 90,000 pounds, or I guess kilograms, of extra fuel. And that's just because that's the amount of fuel we spawned with. So, oh well. Thrust limb. You can change from takeoff to takeoff 1 to takeoff 2. Basically, the difference is takeoff is full 100% power. Takeoff 1 is 10% reduced, so 90%. And takeoff 2 is 80% power. So, when we are up here at high altitude, like Colorado Springs is, we want full takeoff. And then finally, takeoff. Flaps. We'll go 10 degrees of flaps on this takeoff, and then we hit V1 is 129, Our rotation speed is 143, and our V2 safe climb out speed is 163. So now our FMC is completely set up. Everything is completely good on that. So now I'm going to come up here, turn off the generators. Now that's just a personal preference for me because sometimes it glitches and generators don't turn on. So I just like to manually turn them on, but it works just fine if you leave them on. We can go start the APU, turn it to start, and it'll automatically spring back to on. And then wait for the APU to fire up. Alright, APU available. We'll turn both APU gens on and turn off external power. We'll go over here, turn on the beacon lights. Oh, we forgot to turn on the fuel pumps. That's not very realistic because in real life the APU wouldn't have started if the fuel pumps weren't on, but oh well. Then we'll go here, switch anti-ice to auto. And I think we're good. And we'll do one more overhead check. APU is on, generators on. AP. Alright, let's restart. APU on. APU generators on. Generators are off. All fuel pumps are on. The anti-ice is on. And beacon lights are on. Alright, overhead is looking good. Waiting for the IRS to align, because we can't really do much else while the IRS is aligning. Actually, yes, we can. We can arm the auto throttle and the flight director. And yeah, just waiting for the ILS. Not the ILS, the IRS. Alright, IRS is aligned. So, now we are good to start our engines. So, starting with the engine start procedure, first things first. Make sure all those warnings are there. If they're not there, then that might not be a good thing. Make sure, just, double check everything. And finally, start the engine. So pull the starter. Start with engine number 4. You'll see the N1 right there start rising and the EGT start rising soon. And you're just going to not touch anything until it reaches 1.9. So there's 1.9. We'll switch the fuel control on and induce the fuel. And 10% in 1. And you'll see the warning pop up here that shows bleed 4 is off. That means the engine is available. Alright, both counters have stopped moving. We'll turn engine 4 generator and bleed air on. And you're just going to repeat that process for the next 3 engines. Alrighty guys, so now that we have all 4 engines started up, we're going to come up here and we're going to turn the window heat on to get all the warnings out of there. We're going to turn off the APU generators, shut off the APU, and we're going to come over to the lights. We're going to turn on wings and logos and taxi lights. Oh, what happened? Okay. Then we're going to come over here, make sure auto speed brakes are down, not armed. That's only an Airbus thing. Bring flaps to 10. And we'll set up the autopilot. So our V2 speed is 163. And we will leave the speed at 163 until we reach our cruising altitude of 120. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit level change. And oh, what the? Oh, that's what? Okay, so that is a glitch. Never mind, don't listen to me. Do not put on flight level change mode or any sort of thrust mode on the ground because otherwise it will engage on the ground. So never mind, just ignore everything I just said. So I'll set to 163, altitude 12,000. Okay. We're gonna come over here also, set auto brake to RTO. Now, one quick note about the auto brake. It will only work if you are above 85 knots. If you reject a takeoff below 85 knots, you have to use manual braking because the auto brake will not kick in. Also, same thing with the speed brake. You have to manually put it out, otherwise it just won't. It's not going to automatically come out. Alright, so now that all of that is good, we'll come over here, take off the parking brake, and we will start taxi. One quick note about taxiing the 747. It is a big plane, so just be very careful not to hit anything, especially like hold short bars like these. Make sure your wing's not going over them. You know, all that. One thing you could do too that I forgot to do is you can come over here to flight controls and you can check your flight controls. Also, you need to set your pitch trim. I set it to about 85. I know you can't really see it, but alrighty. Going into a runway now. We'll turn on landing lights and strobe lights. I'm just playing single player, that's why I'm not really, you know, worried about entering runways, because I know there's no one gonna come in. But if you're like flying this on VATSIM or something, you need clearance to enter a runway. Alrighty, and then push your yoke full down to put pressure on your nose wheel, and then slowly bring your throttles all the way to full. $60 knots. At 100 knots, slowly start bringing your yoke back. 100 knots. Take some pressure off. V1. Rotate. And positive rate, go gear up. We'll turn on LNAV. And you'll see the flight director start moving. And we'll turn on level change. And we'll turn on the autopilot. Alright, flaps 5. Flaps 1. Okay, what is happening? Alright, you gotta also be careful. There's a lot of glitches in the autopilot system, so just be careful. And just remember, if everything fails, use vertical speed. Autopilot, vertical speed, set it to like 2500, and just turn on speed mode. Set speed to like 200 now. So yeah, this level change button, it's nice when it works, but when it doesn't work, just remember, you can use vertical speed too. And there's 10,000 feet. We'll turn the landing and turn off and taxi lights. All those can come off. And there's the altitude warning that we are about to reach our altitude. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Next time we will... Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. In this episode, we taught you how to get from a cold and dark start to your cruising altitude. Next time, we will go from cruising altitude to getting the aircraft cold and dark. So, basically the opposite. But yeah, see you next time.